Okay, people. So we have a new one from Vision Films. It is called The Evil Fairy Queen. Right? This film is directed by Simon Wells and written by James Wrench. They both also produced the film. It's executive produced by Christine, or no, actually, that's Christian Facetta, Monica Gregorova, and Malcolm Winter. Luis Lopez Pinto took care of the music. Ed Cotton was on cinematography. Hair and makeup, we have Maria Samuel, Magdalena Rosa, Noah Soldoff, and Harry Capdeville. Kate McCamley helped out with direction as well. Oh, we've got the stunts were Ralph Aldis and Zoe Hadjafatu. Right, with our cast. Okay, right. So Kate Richards is played by Julia Czartoryski. Her husband is Tom Richards. They're played by Martin Spendlove. Their eldest daughter, Adelaide, is played by Anelia Leyland, who is actually Julia's real life daughter. And their youngest daughter, Violet, is played by Kitty Sudbury. We've got her great grandmother, Elspeth Moore, played by Judy Tcherniak. Then there's Melisandria, played by Hannah Harris. Radella, played by Megan McLeod. Dylan, played by Luke Hunter. Mandy, played by Natasha Killip. Laura, played by Farella Castanaga. Georgie, played by Natalie Louise Garcia. Jack Coleman, a fairy YouTuber, let's say, played by James Wrench. Arian, played by Andrew Fry. Kaxenina, played by Antonia Williams. Affinia, played by Charlene Wilson. Tatiana, played by Georgina Falls. Elucia, played by Grace Gallagher. Ashinilian, played by Joe Hallett. Triton, played by Kyle McSporan. Regin, played by Matt Hanson. Aethelide, played by Matthew James Owens. Al Capone, played by Nicholas Popel. Belusian, played by Nicolina Pappas. And Mrs. Micklethwaite, played by Georgina Wrench. I'm assuming that's a relation to James. So there is a director's statement. Hold on. I need to let's try and make this readable. Gosh. Okay. Often writers send me scripts to read, and when James sent me The Evil Fairy Queen, I fell in love with the mischievous fairies and knew that I had to make the film. Melisandria and Radella are two of the cheekiest and most entertaining antagonists that I'd ever read. Cheekiest is an interesting descriptive, I would say. But it was a horror, and I wanted to make something to watch with my family. James was very receptive to the idea and made some minor changes to the script. And there we were, officially in pre production. After a whirlwind few months, we reached the summer holidays and were filming with our talented cast. The cast and crew took the stress out of filmmaking and made it an exceptionally fun experience where we all bonded on the shared love of making films. The good weather helped. At the time, I was excited to blend the horror of my first film with the world building and effects of the second and third films. Little did I realize quite how ambitious I had been with the visual effects. But when I got into post production, the scale really hit me. I had 10 times as many special effects than any of my other films. Luckily, that I love special effects. The Evil Fairy Queen is a take of your typical Disney fairies gone bad. It is a horror experience for all, but the absolute youngest members of the family. What makes this film so special is not the visual effects or the production, it is the unique characters and memorable story. Hmm, interesting. So, um, oh shit. Yeah, I didn't actually tell you what the story was, did I? Which is a major misstep. So elemental spirits have held power over the human world since its inception. The relationship, however, is symbiotic. Elfame is a fairy kingdom ruled by Melisandria, and it is dying. The required ritual sacrifice is late. Elspeth Moore's family are bound to Elfame. Every generation, a child has been offered for sacrifice to renew Elfame's magical energy. When Kate Richards receives a letter from her estranged great aunt, Elspeth, offering a place to stay when they need it most, they gratefully accept, not realizing they are being lured towards their demise. So yeah, that's the story, people. Now, I did also read somewhere that Simon, I think it's Simon, the director, he wanted something to be able to watch with his family, right? He'd been making, I think this is his fifth film, and yeah, he had a son in, f- since entering filmmaking. So yeah, he wanted to be sit down and be able to watch one of his films with his kid, which fair, right? I can imagine a lot of people in the industry want that, right? Want to be able to share what they do with their family. So that's kind of how the film came about. And I think, right, it's like a while, I think it was like maybe a couple of years ago, we looked at a film called The Secret Kingdom. I think it's very kind of akin to something along those lines, right? Like Damsel, that was just released on Netflix, but obviously with a far lesser budget, right? So if that kind of film is for you, this could work. I mean, Hmm. I would say your little kids, right? That's who will probably jail with this. Real young kids, like 3, 4. I think anything older, they might get a little skept. You know what I mean? Might get a little skeptical on what they're seeing. Is Yeah, the story, like we've had this kind of story, when you think of Labyrinth, right? David Bowie taking the baby and all of that. Like there's many stories about uh fairies kidnapping kids because yeah, back in the day, right? In the old grim fairy tales and Anne Christian Andersen and all of those, but even just classic old lore, fairies, yeah, they get babies, right? It was all the changelings and doppelgangers and all of that kind of thing. It wasn't, oh, I'm Tinkerbell, I'm gonna give you wishes. No, there was none of that. You know what I mean? That was a newer concoction. A lot of fairies, not so nice. So yeah, I can see how James wanted to imbue that into the film. The thing though for me is like I think this film probably would have worked better if the script maybe was tightened up a bit. I'd also be interested to know how long the cast had with this, right? Because the delivery, right, that's another place where this film stumbles. Is it feels very stilted. Nothing flows like a natural conversation. I mean, just for instance, when um Elspeth calls, right? She calls up. Well, she writes a letter first to Kate, and it's just the way the letter is written. Firstly, you're just like, people, that feels mad clunky. And then the telephone call is just like, oh, call me. Right? The telephone call is kind of crazy because Kate, and then when they go meet, Kate is like, hello, great grandmother. I don't think any, and like, you may say it one time, but that's it. You're not repeating that, right? It would just be grandma or grandmother. You're not continuously saying great grandmother. I mean, no one really cares, right? I mean, the great is, a given. I mean, it just real clunky, right? And then after ages of saying great grandmother, she then starts saying Elspeth, but then she goes back to great grandma. It's just like, wait, what is happening? What is going on? There's a bit when Tom is like, oh, I could be a YouTuber. And then he goes a little Jar Jar Binks, if you get me. You know what I mean? Which is just like, yo, what was that? Because when you just look, you think about all the YouTubers that are around now, right? Um, you've got the Paul brothers, Mr. Beast. Like, there's so many of these people. They all talk very differently. So, you know, why the fuck? I don't know. I don't know what went down there. But you just all these interactions are just clunky, right? They don't feel like there's a bit when Tom is walking with Adelaide and they're talking, and it's just right, this conversation which you think should be real heartfelt and kind of sad, and it's clunky, it's weird. It's very weird. It's like, can't say too much, giving things away, but it's a very odd conversation, right? In Elfame, there's no diversity in Elfame, right? Like that, I think when you're making things and stuff like that, I'm not like everything, there should be, an Indian kid and a black kid and a blah, blah. No, the family can be the family, all of that. But when you have these ensemble scenes with multiple people, It's always a little weird when there is nothing, no diversity at all. You know, like the pub, or you think you could mix it up a little bit in those kind of scenes, but we don't. There's nothing. It's very odd, very odd. Right? This when we first meet Dylan, I don't. I mean, look, if you're relaying information, right, or even just hearing the information that's coming from him, there's questions that would be asked, right? Or if you really want to convey something that's so important, you're saying more. Right? There was no reason for that to be so friggin' vague. Like, you're just scratching your head, and then it's just like the whole fairy. I don't know what you would call him. Like, he didn't really come off as a fairy scholar, right? This dude on YouTube and it was just like, okay, you found some information. You gonna double check that, or are you taking one person's word? Right? Like, we just see one thing. It's not like this extensive search, this trawl to kind of find truth and answers and all of that. You know? Hey, and if someone asks for your number, and you're like, oh, my phone's getting repaired. It's just like, you still give the number. It's not like if you were getting a new phone, right? You were changing your number, fine. But if your phone's just getting fixed, your number's still your number, right? You would give your number, but say, hey, phone, like, I can't take any calls, but here's my number, so you have it. I'll give you a call though, because I'm just waiting for it to get fixed. I'll be picking it up next week or something. And that's just another example of the dialogue, man. The scenarios, it's very wooden, right? I will say, Violet, the Kitty who plays Violet had the right energy, right, for that age kid. But yeah, that's why I wonder how long the cast had with the scripts, because it kind of feels like they didn't have a long time, right? They've literally read the stuff and then have to go deliver the lines, right? That's how it feels. I might be wrong. And listen, I get it. People pour their life, their hearts into making these things, you know? And not everything has to be for you. That's for real. I just think with something like this, it's not just a story, right? There's, I can be like, yeah, I didn't really feel the story, but yeah, it's for kids. Boom. When you find something and just, there's certain issues, it is a shame, right? It's just a big shame because, you think it would go over much more. That's not a sentence, is it? I'm talking about dialogue, and that was just, boy. It would have more of an impact if there was just a bit more polish on it, right? But the Evil Fairy Queen, you can get it on all your favorite VODs from, it was available from the 16th. So it's there. You can go check it out now, And as I said, look, if you like stuff like The Secret Kingdom, those kind of things, then it might work, right? It's not the same level as the Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, even the Never-Ending Story, which, when you think about some of the things we watched as kids, they were kind of clunky. They were kind of clunky and goofy. you know, but still just a bit more rounded than the evil fairy queen. But it's there. As I said, a young kid, could vibe with it. So yeah, just think of the age of your children, and I think that should help guide you on what to watch. All right, the evil fairy queen.